Hi, we're going to continue right away with the our interval study. Now we're going to look at an interval called a major second or a whole step. This interval is composed of two half steps. If we look at it linearly on the guitar or melodically, the interval would be from D to E if we were ascending, or D to C going down. You can see that it lays out nicely on the guitar because we're skipping every other fret. Now I just played a series of whole steps bouncing off the E string. There is a scale associated with a whole step called the whole tone scale, just like its name implies. It consists of nothing but stacking whole steps one after the other. Just like the chromatic scale stacked half steps, a whole tone scale stacks whole steps. So playing the E whole tone scale would be skipping every other note, starting on E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C, D, E. Bouncing off the open string, again you could get, that's the sound of it. Okay. The interval, now that we know what it is, how does it sound? Well, let's play a couple harmonically. We could play F sharp and E. That's the sound of a whole step or a major second played harmonically. Words that typically describe this are somewhat open, somewhat spacey, somewhat cerebral, suspended. It doesn't have that same dissonance that the half step has. All of a sudden we hear that tension now, that suspense that something's really going to happen. The whole tone has a bit more of an open feeling to it. It can also be played on adjacent strings. If it's played on all of the string sets except 2 and 3, then it will be played like this. No stretching. When we come to the second and third strings, we have to actually collapse. When we go back, every finger takes a fret, and we'll get the whole step. So that concludes the whole step, composed of two half steps, major second interval. There's a scale associated with it called the whole tone scale. Play around with it. It's used quite a bit. Well, not a whole lot, but it is definitely used. And we'll look at more of that later on. But at this point, the goal is to get through the intervals rather quickly so we can move on to some other things. So now we've had our look at the whole step.